Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Science and Sorcery, the show where science communicators play Dungeons and Dragons. And we had a very gradual intro there, and also Khalil didn't ask me any weird questions, which is a little bit of a change from normal, but I'm very glad for it. Tonight, we are back with our campaign, session 38, I believe, and we've got some very special things that are going to be happening. Yes, Khalil, to you, personally, in your home. Before we get started, however, a couple of quick announcements. Our next charity game is a team up with the Anik Poison Gardens. Very excited for that one. The date for that one is it the 23rd of August, Sam?
No, it's not until September, that game. There's another game.
It's not until September, that game.
Yep.
Do we have something else in August?
Yes,
Why break the habit of a lifetime?
So,
what do we have in August?
Our next one shot is on the 30th of August, which is a Monster of the Week one shot that is being
I thought
run
that was in October.
by the incredible Apollo. So yeah, that is coming very, very shortly. We've got an incredible cast for that will be announced very, very shortly. But the Alnwick Poison Garden game is coming on the 20th of September.
Thank you.
Which will be run by the wonderful Anne the Gnome.
I normally check these things with Sam while the intro is playing, but due to changes in our recording setup, that is more difficult now.
Don't make excuses for just fucking up.
I will make as many excuses as I want, Sam.
It's the only way to find out when our games are.
Exactly. It's for me to mess up and for Sam to correct me. So 30th of August, come and join us here at 7 p.m. And until then, you've got some more teenage shenanigans to watch. And if you are watching those and you're thinking, hey, these people are cool, I want to be like them, why not buy some stuff from Valkyrie RPG? If you go to valkyrierpg.co.uk and use the code SciAndSorcery, you get 30% off your order. And they don't just have dice, they also have things like really cool pin badges. So, yeah, go give them a bit of money. Those are our announcements, as far as I know. No one is correcting me this time. Great. And so, I don't know what you're pointing at, Khalil.
Nothing. Just a
Nope.
void.
Alex is locked in a Genie's vessel with a gym bro and won't be joining us for the next few sessions. The vessel being Alaska and the gym bro being Jess?
Jess McLaughlin, an amazing science communicator and scientist. Yeah.
Yep. So go to Alaska, get locked in a Genie's vessel with gym bros. A recap from what happened last session. The party arrived at the Temple of Vias, met some of Nimbo's distant relatives, a Furbal commune that tends the temple, which very much excited Nimbo. Nimbo managed to get back in touch with his god, which was also very nice, and got some confusing answers to some questions, if I'm not mistaken. The temple was then shaken by an earthquake yet again. The party did manage to help other people get out safely. They then spotted in the distance a young golden dragon who they have met before, and decided to head off in that direction towards the planar seal. As they stayed camp for the night, Blirta decided she wanted some comfort, went into her Genie's vessel to spend some time with her soft porn and wine collection, and as Nimbo kept watch, he did not realize someone sneaking closer, as a beam of magic shot past him, hitting the Genie's vessel and locking Blirta inside. Nimbo looked up to see a halfling man who told him, "Don't worry, this is for the best." before dimension dooring out of there, and we left off as Nimbo was yelling Muck and M awake. You can see the halfling about 400 yards away, 400 feet away. He has just started sprinting in the other direction, back towards the temple on the other side of the valley.
Mark, Mark, wake up, guys, we gotta go. There's a guy over there. You see, and
it's just a rock. Don't it? What? I know it's dark.
You know
but
I'm
it's
not
just a
good with
rock.
mornings. You know.
I can't see him anymore. I don't have dark vision, but like a little halfling or gnome or something came and like look, Blirta's vessel.
Oh, that's for the best.
I'm gonna cast so like as you see Nimbo getting all het up and stressed, like little like arcs of electricity start to like fizz between the copper wires in his hair, and you hear a kind of peal of thunder. And I'm gonna cast Call Lightning in the direction that the halfling ran. It doesn't have the range to get to where I metagaming know the halfling is, but it's what Nimbo would do. And you just see like a flash of lightning in a direction.
Make a religion check or a nature check.
15.
Religion?
15.
Religion
nature
or
or religion, either.
Okay,
I will.
cool.
I will go with religion this time.
Cool. As you channel your divine magic, you feel the lightning course through you, and whereas normally your call lightning would just summon a single strike where you expect it to go, this time you summon a storm. Lightning starts crashing down into the valley, lighting up a large part of it. And M and Muck, you can now see the lightning strike in the distance right next to a small creature who is running. Sort of jumps out of the way and then just keeps going.
Oh, okay, you're right. What do we do about that then? And point at the vessel. Can we take it? Can it move?
It's just a small box. Yeah, you can pick it up.
400 feet away, so realistically we can't catch up to him. What's the landscape like? No, I still can't catch up to him.
So you're in a valley right now. There's like a small river running through, but it's relatively easy ground to cover. You can see as well the angle he's going. He's heading back towards the temple.
I'm gonna cast,
and it's the middle of the night.
I'm gonna cast Expeditious Retreat on myself, and I use my feline agility to run 120 feet.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you pick up the vessel?
Nope.
Okay, M just takes off.
I think you can go 180 if you use your movement action and bonus, and your movement is doubled.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. M, like in 6 seconds, sort of crosses this distance that shouldn't be physically possible. Almost halfway, like half the distance between you and the halfling. The lightning is still crashing, but it isn't. It's turned into like it's more of a normal storm, even though Nimbo still has this connection to it and is able to draw lightning from it. You seem to just have awoken the mountains or something, and like the climate is currently aiding you.
I think Muck shouts across the valley, "Oi! Come back here!" And I want to make an intimidation check on the little guy.
Okay. Given the distance, this will be a disadvantage.
Fair enough.
Unless Nimbo wants to help you with a thaumaturgy, in which case it'll be a straight roll.
I do have thaumaturgy, so yes.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to use my action to cast guidance, but I'll use thaumaturgy instead.
Thank you. Okay, digital dice rolling says. Oh wait, no, it says yes. Oh, that's bad. That'll be a 12.
You have just woken up. You've got a
Yeah.
little bit of a tickle in your throat. You think maybe like you're coming down with like mountain flu or something.
Yes.
And so you try to yell and it just like croaks out.
So real.
Nimbo might be a little bit intimidated because it's still scary. But the sound doesn't carry 400 feet.
Damn.
All right, let's move.
Is anyone taking the vessel?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I'm gonna scoop it up and rugby ball it.
Yeah. Cool. I assume most of your kit and stuff you just stuff in the bag of holding and you're just running after him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I say to Muck, you're a bit more athletic than me. You go ahead. I'll catch up with this stuff. Go.
All right.
Yeah. In that case, you're all running through the valley. You being the furthest ahead, having some magical assistance and your feline agility, which helped you get that first initial boost, you start to catch up. You see this halfling dressed in relatively fancy robes, who is just like looking behind him, sees you getting closer. He's holding a like rucksack that's sort of thrown over one shoulder. He's trying to hold on to it. As you begin to catch up, Muck further behind, Nimbo even further back, you see something else appearing up ahead with your dark vision. A really fast-moving, flying object that is heading straight for the halfling. The halfling looks back up ahead, sees the same thing as the valley is illuminated again by a lightning strike. And as the lightning strikes, you watch a shimmering portal begin to flutter into existence. At this point, the shape moving towards you yells out, "Hey, you! Give that back!" And you see our special guest. Would you like to come and introduce yourself? Hello, Sakaya.
Hello, everyone.
Would you like to describe what Em sees on her flying broom?
So she sees a woman in her kind of late 20s, dressed exquisitely in the most up-and-coming fashions from the university. Pastel pinks and blues, maybe from the School of Abjuration. She has a wand in her hand. She has a broom, as you say. And possibly, if they can see where she's just left, is a camp almost just full of a ludicrous amount of books and accoutrements. And but she has long dark hair with a sort of a white fringe that goes into sort of electric blue.
Nice.
And Eloise, you see the thief who stole your life's work, really. As he sees you, though, and then the portal, he unshoulders the rucksack and yells, "No!" and throws the rucksack into the portal. "Now we'll all be safe." Looks back towards you, Em, and you have a brief moment where you think you might have seen this guy before. And then he dimension doors away again. Eloise, your life's work just disappeared through a portal.
Eloise isn't saying anything. She stood there. Her mouth is agape. She's kind of stuck. No. But she can't muster any kind of words at the moment.
M will just like look at what's happened, like a halfling, a portal, a bag went through a portal, a stranger who's having some sort of shell shock moment, and be like, wait. I look at my shoulder and be like, is that what I think it is, Yarrow?
Oh yeah.
Is that home?
Oh yeah.
I will look at the newcomer and be like, do you want to go home?
I think Eloise wheels on you, like points her wand towards you. Oh no more bandits. Thank you very much. There's nothing of interest that I have, and you wouldn't understand it anyway.
Not a bandit, I promise. My traveling companion has been locked inside her vessel, and that guy did it and ran away, and now I'm here. I'm not gonna cause any problems. I just want to know why he did that, and he's gone. My friends are coming. They're just very slow.
As you say that, Muck sort of thumps into the back of you, not having been able to like slow down in time.
And then Nimbo bumps into the back of Muck, not having been able
Yes.
to see any of them because I don't have dark vision.
Eloise,
And on
Eloise
that
shrieked.
note,
And
could you
doesn't know
make
who
me a
to point the wand
dexterity
at.
saving throw?
Dex saving throw, yeah.
As two very heavy people thump into the back of you.
That's an 18.
Yeah, you're fine. You managed to keep your footing, but it hurts a bit to have these two impact against you.
I think I barely notice as I'm still just like looking at this portal as they bump into the back one. I think that's the Fey realm, and something important just went there. Anyone up for a midnight trip?
Where the fuck's this halfling gone?
He's just vanished, and I will look around to see if I can see him again.
Who are
Did
you?
he go into the portal? Sorry,
He did,
or just vanished?
well, not that you could see. He dimension doored,
Okay,
which
okay.
the max range is 400 feet, so he could be any direction really.
Got
Looking
you.
around, you don't spot him super quickly.
Who the hell are you? Pointing at Louise.
Who the? I'm Eloise de Saint-Planaire. And who are you?
Sorry, I came in a little bit hot. Bit of a fraught situation. I'm Nimbo Thunderchild, of the Brynwater Thunderchilds. If that means anything around here. I've never introduced myself like that, but
There's only
Blurt-
one Thunder Child.
I know, but that's how Blirta introduces herself, and I'm missing her, and so I'm kind of like imprinting some of her behaviors. It feels weird. I don't know how to feel. I'm new to losing friends.
Can I do a
goodness.
history check to see if I recognise the surname as like a noble house?
Absolutely.
All 16.
The De Saint-Planaires are a very old noble family.
Okay, Muck kind of rolls her eyes, and yeah, just kind of is completely uninterested and very frustrated because she just wants her friend back.
What was in that bag?
My amulet of planar imprisonment. It's my life's work. You wouldn't understand. I don't want to go to the Fey realm, to answer your question. I look at M. But I have to get my belongings back.
We don't have time to contextualize it right now, but that does sound like an amulet that could be very important to the safety of the world. So I feel like our interests are aligned right now. I don't know if we can
failed to
fully
see how
trust you
that's
yet,
possible.
but let's see. It's been a weird couple of weeks.
Planar
Right.
imprisonment, and okay, so that's how that's how that has happened to Blirta. Because of your amulet.
Blirta?
Yeah, our traveling
Androgol?
companion, and yes, the very same.
Oh, well, it's not surprising. Bad things have happened to her. Right, well, if you can just wait, I'll need to pack this away because I can't go without my belongings. And she points towards a ludicrous camp with like cooking utensils and a mini tent, and there's a table with it's all sorts of like, scientific equipment and things on it, and it looks like it's going to take a good 45 minutes to pack it down.
Can I just take out the bag of holding? We're like, just put it all in here.
In the
Give me all your
meantime,
stuff.
As you do that, the storm is beginning to quiet, and you watch the portal begin to flicker.
yeah, I'm like holding open the tube doors. Basically, I've got like one leg and one arm in the portal, and the rest of
It
me out.
feels really uncomfortable. With the portal flickering, you feel like you're starting to get torn in half.
Don't know how much longer I can do this.
Is there just
Can we
gonna
come
be
back
like
for your stuff?
Is there just be like a satyr that will just walk through and be like, wait till I get off first?
Bloody tourists.
He's playing the piano. It's Mr. Peanut Butter again.
Mr. Peanut Butter.
I'm gonna look at Yarrow and be like, okay, well, we're going home.
Yeah, let's fucking go before that thing disappears.
And I run through, regardless of what anyone else is doing right now.
Muck looks at Eloise. It says, "Just hurry up," and picks up, I don't know, the heaviest thing around, and just puts it under her arm, and walks through the portal.
Be careful with it.
Look, prioritize. We can come back for the rest. Grab one or two things that you really, really need, and I don't know how much longer I can hold this. This feels weird.
There's a storm coming. Everything's going to get fine. She grabs a couple of satchels of
I can turn off the storm.
books. You can
Make a religion check again.
Ooh.
That's a 9.
Oh, once the storm gets going, it's hard to turn off.
I mean,
that
I
water's not going to
sometimes
stop
can.
coming down till there's none left.
Eloise
Sorry,
gives you a very unimpressed look.
this doesn't always happen to me. It's just, I've been very stressed.
Luckily, that just goes straight over Eloise's head.
Oh dear.
Come on,
She grabs a couple of
through,
satchels of
through.
books,
Yep.
a plank of wood, and a broom, and sighs, looking at the rest of the stuff, and rushes up to Nimbo.
Okay. You manage to get through, Nimbo. You step. You bring like your other leg through, and the portal flickers a couple more times before closing behind you. The
What do we
four of
see?
you find yourself in a dense forest,
Oh, this
but
is nice.
unlike a forest you've ever seen before. The trees are silver in bark and have magenta and teal colored leaves. Some of them, instead of having leaves or flowers, seem to just have glowing orbs of bluish light at the ends of their branches. There is soft music playing. You can't quite tell where it comes from. And perhaps most surprisingly to you, Yarrow is gone.
Oh, shit.
What?
Wait. I thought you just abandoned me. I expected that we brought you home and you just abandoned me. Where are you?
I'm on your shoulder.
I'll look at my shoulder.
A very small willow wisp,
Oh, you weren't lying.
glowing
about
a faint yellow light.
that.
I'm right here.
So this is what you really look like.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sexy, isn't it?
I don't know that I would describe it that way. You're my pet. I'm not going to describe you as sexy.
Fair enough.
You don't have a stomach though. That's yeah.
Oh, or eyes.
Or eyes. Okay. Let's not think about whether your eyes actually work back in the material plane. Okay, this is weird. We're home now. Welcome home.
Thanks.
I pressed the digitate a couple of little fireworks. Welcome home.
Oh, that's nice. As you do, several mushrooms behind you also sort of release spores that turn into fireworks.
Oh,
Oh, that's new. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
This place is incredible.
absolutely.
But
I can't lie. Sometimes I really hate all this magic shit. Like, I just want to punch something, and it looks like I'm gonna get cursed. So, I hate this place.
Oh, good grief.
Can I make you a coffee or something? I know it's the middle of the night and you don't like getting woken up so abruptly.
Yes, a coffee would be great. Wait, how are you gonna make the coffee? You're gonna magic the coffee, and then there's gonna be a coffee river behind us or something.
I don't know if that's how it works
That's
here.
not a thing.
All right, then I'll have a coffee. Thank you.
If there's like a place to just take a moment, breathe in, I will brew a coffee.
Yeah, you can have a seat on like some overturned logs or something.
Well,
I think while this process is happening, I think Nimbo is going to be like tentatively kind of surveying the surroundings, not necessarily going away from the group at all.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or just having a wander?
I'm not having a wonder. I'm not.
I mean, like around the
Oh.
like the little clearing you're in.
I am looking at all of the life forms around here,
Yeah.
and trying to see if there's any connection to any that I know from
Okay.
the mortal realm, or anything I might have heard of from the Furbolg elders back in the commune, whatever.
There are definitely, like, other than the firework mushrooms, there's a few other mushrooms which you've never seen before and which don't look like anything you've read about. But there are some like plants that would have been considered rare in the material plane, which seem to grow here in abundance. Sort of wildlife side of things, there's a lot of what look like fireflies, but could be will-o'-wisps or similar, off in the distance. And the soft music you hear from every direction seems to be punctuated by sounds of animals you're not super familiar with, except for owls. There's a lot of owl noises.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I'm getting massive flashbacks out of game to the time that I made friends with an owl as a student in Bristol.
did that actually happen, or was that on like one of those nights? Where...
It was an eagle owl that had taken up roost on top of the biology building, and every time I would like be walking back from a night out, it would just be there lonely going whoo, and so sometimes I'd go whoo back, and it would immediately reply. I assume we were flirting.
I would also assume you were flirting with an owl. That's not surprising to me at all.
We never met face to face. It was purely a remote online relationship. But
The
like,
owl wasn't lonely. You were just projecting.
was I catfishing an owl?
Yeah.
Yes.
God, there's so many animal nouns in that sentence.
Mm.
So with my speech of beast and leaf, I would like to not
Mhm.
flirt with, but say like hello, and see if any life form responds.
The owls do.
They flirting?
Yes.
Oh God. Nimbo is suddenly is uncomfortable and stops and is quiet.
Cool.
Muck is doing angry squats with the heavy thing that she picked up, like fucking magic bullshit and random nobles, and then like takes a sip of the coffee and then carries on doing squats.
I assume the heavy thing is a cauldron of some kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's like, it's like filled up with whatever was left from Eloise's like dinner and all of the water that came down in the rainstorm. So it's not light, but it's a good workout for Muck.
Thank you.
Eloise, what are you doing? Having left behind a lot of your worldly possessions and now having traveled to a new plane, which, as far as you know, no one has done in centuries.
Yes, she's a mix of excited and fascinated by the fact that she's just gone through a portal into another plane, combined with terrified, irritated, and angry. She's low-key scared of Muck and is kind of like trying to go to the edge of the camp, furthest away from her. But she's muttering to herself and rummaging through satchels. Where's the blasted thing? Where have I put it? And she pulls out like a little small copper rod with these sort of strange arcane engravings on it, and she just starts sort of pointing it around the place, muttering to herself.
Eloise, was it? What exactly are we looking for? So there's this amulet, but it was in a bag?
Well, yes, I carry things in a bag. It's rather...
So
I can't
I
carry everything
didn't-
in my hands.
I didn't get a proper good look at this bag, or the amulet. Could you describe one of them, either the bag or the amulet, in an amount of detail?
So the bag wasn't yours, Eloise. It was the halfling's own rucksack. But it was like a like oilcloth, brown oilcloth.
A description
thing.
of the amulet would work fine.
Is there a description you have, Dagmar?
I
or-
believe you should also have a description in the item description.
It's a little cowrie shell on a little
Oh,
leather
yes.
band.
But hold on,
It's a
I've
lot
got
of
it.
folded
a little
cloth
bit
on
of
a
wire
chain.
around it.
So it is an amulet on a chain made entirely out of gold. It's got like one circle with then the amulet inside, which you can spin. One side is decorated with an engraving of a diagram of the planes, and on the other side is an intricate lock.
Whilst Eloise is describing this, can I try and use that information to cast Locate Object?
Yes.
So Locate Object has a range of 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I know the direction to its location. I don't know its exact location. I know the direction, and I know if it's in motion, what way it's moving.
Yes. It is not within 1,000 feet.
So, good news. I've got a bit of information that might help our search. Less universally good news. It's not particularly nearby. I asked Varaya for some advice, and doesn't seem like it's in the immediate vicinity of this portal.
Be more specific.
Well, like it normally extends out to about 300 yards, 1,000 feet, something like that. I know that what you described to me, unless I'm visualizing it wrong, it's not within that distance of where we are. So either something has moved it before we got here, or there's been some Fey stuff going on. I've heard that this place can be a bit tricksy. Do you know anything about here?
I know nothing about here. I've studied all the planes, and I have a good idea about. Well, it's all theoretical. I mean, this is
I mean, it seems pretty
fascinating.
real.
This, yes, it absolutely is, and that's a very good point. She takes out a notepad and starts sort of making notes. But as for exactly what we can expect, well, this is as new to me as it is to you.
Cool. That is in equal measures reassuring and disconcerting. At least we're all in this together.
Yes.
Why did the captions capitalize all in this together? I did not like that.
High School Musical, baby. Let's go.
And our next guest, Zac Efron.
I finish my coffee and look at Yarrow. Like, do you know where in your realm we might be right now?
The woods.
Helpful, as always.
There's a lot of woods. There's a lot of realm.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, it can change. Nothing is ever in any one place for any one time. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And that's
pretty
fascinating. I kind of poke Yarrow with my wand.
I.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Eloise, we do tend to respect a bit of kind of bodily autonomy in this group. That extends to Fey companions as well. Just a bit of a ground rule.
Look, you want my advice? Best thing to do in the Feywild is to follow the music. Or never follow the music.
As always, you're incredibly
Been a while since I've been back.
So it's either the best or the worst thing we can do?
Yes.
Honestly,
No.
that sounds like a lot of the things that this group does.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess we follow the music then, and hope that it's not the worst thing we've ever done.
Maybe let's
Sounds good.
before we go, just as a bit of a precaution, so I'm going to cast this on M and Eloise. I'm going to cast Enhance Ability, and I'm going to give you Owl's Wisdom, so that any perception or insight or anything like that is elevated. Or would you rather have advantage on intelligence for Arcana and Nature and stuff?
For me, that would be better.
Can I do different for each one?
When you upcast it, I imagine so.
Eloise, what would you prefer?
Well, she's certainly more geared towards intelligence, but either would be fine.
Okay, I'm going to give M intelligence and Eloise wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So you have advantage on ability checks.
Very nice.
So follow the music. Yarrow.
Yeah.
What could be at the end of this music if it's a bad thing?
My ex-wives.
Honestly.
Okay.
What? Oh, you mean for you?
Yeah, of course they meant
Death.
for me. You're like, great, ex-wives and death. What a morning. Night, whatever fucking time it is.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, well, you don't get too comfortable. I don't think we plan to stay here. Yeah, let's follow the music then, and I would start moving in the direction of the music. If
The music is coming from every direction.
Oh,
Oh.
Yarrow, I'm walking in circles. Are you being odd? Are you being different? What do I smell
What
like
was
right
odd?
now?
Piss.
Yeah. I'm not sad, I'm a bit angry. So,
Just a little bit more sour than usual.
great.
Can I do a vibe check on Yarrow like from like
Absolutely.
observing this interaction.
Yes,
Yeah,
go for
Yarrow's
it.
Mm-hmm.
being odd.
Okay, roll for vibe. 16.
16. Yeah, Yarrow is being even less helpful than usual. And it definitely seems to be ineffective being back in the Feywild. You know Fey are meant to be tricksters. Yarrow seems to be not like trying to trick you, but leaning more into the unhelpful side of things.
Okay, I don't say anything. I just kind of narrow my eyes from a distance.
Can I just do a perception check to see if the sound is, if I listen really closely, is coming from one direction in particular?
Go for it.
Okay, never mind. That's a 6.
Okay.
Tune.
Well, we're gonna die here.
May I do that with my enhanced wisdom?
Yes, you may.
How does that work exactly? Kyle? I forgot.
Advantage on your
advantage.
It is disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. That's not bad. That's a 19.
Yeah. Eloise, you listen really carefully. And you know what? This is nice music. This is like the type of music you'd enjoy listening to in like a nice parlor or cafe. And as you're listening, you start to hear some violins that just seem to be a bit more clear than the rest of the sound. And it's coming from, you're not sure if it's east or west, but like to your left currently.
This is actually very civilized, very refined. And she's still pointing her little rod at the moment. And she kind of points it in the direction of where she thinks the music is coming from, just to see if there's a ping on that as well.
No.
But she will look at the others and say, I think it's coming from that way, roughly. And then she looks at Muck and says, you don't need to bring the soup. It's fine. You can put that down if you like.
Okay, Muck does one final squat, lays the cauldron on the ground, and as she rises up, does like a big like stretch and flex, and like, right, fine.
One last squat drains the cauldron.
Breakfast.
There's a moment where Eloise goes a little bit flushed, and it takes her a moment to kind of like shake her head and then set off after the music.
Oh yeah.
You begin to follow the direction of the music. And it occasionally sort of changes direction slightly, but not like no big turns or anything. After a while, you come. Muck, did you leave the cauldron?
Yeah.
After a while, you come back to a clearing with a single cauldron sat inside it.
Good lord.
No, but that doesn't make any sense because I was positive, and she kind of like bashes the rod on her hand.
It's a solid rod. It hurts a bit.
Normally, I feel so at home in a forest, but normally the forest is kind of someone you can become friends with and, collaborate with. This forest just seems mischievous.
I'm loath to ask this, but do you think you could ask an owl for some help?
I'll give it a go.
Whoo!
Hello? Could anyone...
Is this going to be like turning the storm off? Because really,
He's usually
Well-
really good at this. Like don't. Sometimes it's stage fright.
Just a lot of pressure. Just don't look at me. Hello? Could anyone help me?
Make a persuasion check.
Eloise turns away from Nimbo so that she's not looking at him.
That is gonna be. Do I have a moment of awesome?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
do.
so. I think
Oh,
you
do
might
I?
have
You
gotten
got it.
one from
You got it last time.
the
because of
conversation with
gods.
Vias. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Okay.
I
I'm gonna
don't keep
use
track
it.
of them though, but
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I think
use
it
it.
was you.
That's much worse.
Awesome.
Good job.
Why break with tradition? Why roll well when you are me? That's
Did you
an
give
11.
yourself guidance?
Oh, we're gonna because guidance is concentration, so I don't want to.
Oh, okay, and they've got
concentration on the
enhanceability. Yeah,
enhancement.
yeah, that's all right.
So yeah, that is gonna be an 11.
You hear?
I
a
mean, an
response?
11.
You do
It's
hear
all
a
about
response.
how you say it.
You hear a response coming from a different direction than the violins, but it's a lot less flirty.
Good. I don't want to go towards a horny Fey Owl. I want to go towards a helpful Fey Owl. So I say, honestly, I speak it better than I understand it. So I don't entirely know what the response was, but it does seem like we got some response from over there. And I basically, I'd like to play a game of Marco Polo with this owl.
Yeah.
So we can like keep readjusting our course.
Yeah. You actually hear two different owls who seem to be they don't seem to be talking to you. They seem to be having a conversation amongst themselves.
Can I make a nature roll?
Yes, you can make a nature roll.
No, that's an 8. I mean, 8!
8! Yay! You've no idea what these owls are saying, but they're having a conversation and they seem to be... It sounds almost as if they're complaining. But you are able to hone in on the sound and follow that. This time, as you begin to navigate, the terrain around you does actually start to change a little. You're not seeing the exact same trees in the same place. And you seem to be walking away from the clearing and not circling back towards it.
Well, at least we're moving. So these two owls are having an argument.
Or something.
Can I try to talk to them in common? Oh, actually, I will try and talk to them in Elvish.
Sylvan?
I don't speak Sylvan, but I do speak Elvish. So it's like, going to Portugal and speaking Spanish. Like, they'll kind of get it.
If only your Eladrin was with you.
So in Elvish, I'll say, one chips, please. No, I'll say in Elvish, I'll say, excuse me, I'm really sorry. I don't speak Sylvan, but I am trying. Have you seen a leather bag, just come through here recently?
And then I'll echo that in Sylvan.
Perfect pronunciation, Sylvan.
Yeah.
And Nimbo's just like, all right, fair.
You watch as two owls land on the branches overhead. But these are not the owls that you're used to. These are almost the size of muck.
I shriek.
Lord.
They turn to you, Eloise. Say, well, at least someone speaks a civilized language. I don't know what that other one is blabbering about. It's so rude, isn't it, when tourists show up and they don't even bother to try to learn the language before they arrive.
Even though Nimbo can't understand, they turn to Nimbo and they say, no, don't worry, your Elvish is fine, it's possible. And then just look back at the elves.
I mean, when he first started talking, he did sound quite sexy. But now, I mean, honestly, look at that. I mean, the physically, that's not what we're looking for at all either. Really, I mean, what is this? A catfish?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I wondered if you could help us, and I look to the others and then sort of revert to common, find the direction of the music?
At least we'll have some direction.
And then go back to the
Yeah.
owls and say, find the direction of the music in Sylvan.
Oh, are you bringing them?
If that's
well.
all right.
I'm sure they'll have something to get past the language barrier. You want to go that way. If you see purple mushrooms, you've gone the wrong way. If you see yellow mushrooms, you're taking a detour. If you see green mushrooms, jump.
Right. Purple wrong way, yellow detour, green jump.
Yes.
Right.
Do you
Thank you
have
very
your
much.
entry fees?
Right. I have nothing. I have no small. Is gold okay?
Perfect. Have fun. I hope you meet the one.
Oh, it's not like that. I'll turn to the others. Right.
So they said something about an entry B and something about like different colored rooms. Am I getting that right?
Yes, but perhaps work on the Elvish a little bit more before we try and branch out. So we are to go in this direction, and if we come across any purple mushrooms, then we've gone the wrong way. If we come across yellow mushrooms, then we're on a detour, which feels quite adjacent to going the wrong way, to be honest. And if we come across green mushrooms, then we have to jump, which I don't quite know what that means, but
Well, I guess a detour is a temporary wrong way.
yes.
Which is better than a wrong way.
I will turn to Yarrow in this moment and say, I know you're not going to be helpful, but I need to ask, is she telling us the truth?
Yarrow is a ball of light, but if Yarrow wasn't a ball of light, Yarrow would be cutting shapes right now. It just seems to be grooving to the music. Yeah, purple, wrong way. Yellow, detour. And green, jump. Yeah, no, that tracks.
And
Never
Eloise
go
is just
purple.
like looking at M, mouth agape, like horrified that someone's accused her of like being dishonest.
We've had bad experiences in the past. I need to check, and also to check that it's still working, and seems to be.
Fine. I am not a fey trickster, thank you very much. And she'll head off in the direction that she's been directed.
And Monk nudges Em and was like, I didn't even think of that. Do you think she's cursed or something?
No, I think.
Oh, and have your entrance fees ready.
I think she's
Wait,
just
how much is it? How much is the entrance fee? I've only got. Oh wow, only 1 gold. I've got a fair few silver though.
Are we being robbed?
I think what did I spend? Oh, I spent all my money on potions before we.
Oh, I'll pay.
Met
For
them
heaven's sake,
there.
just hurry up.
Okay, coming.
Can't rob us today, Fey trickster.
Sorry, for Thelav's sake, hurry up.
I will turn to Mark and be like, you asked for being cursed. I've been asking that for about 6 weeks now.
All right. I think we follow Eloise now.
And as you head in the direction that the owls indicated to you and start keeping an eye out for mushrooms, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break here. So we'll be back very soon, folks. See you soon.
Hey.
We're
Sure.
marching through the swamp like this.
We're the finger blasters, and we're here to say something.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest.
Do you wish to consummate this marriage?
Consummate here? No, that's
Not,
for
not, not in that
Everybody else.
sense.
not,
Not in the aquarium, Alex!
not in front of the Kraken. It's just a baby.
Maybe like a scene where you got one Bullywug like on a throne kind of thing, and then all the other races as well.
Making a Bullywug supremacy case.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're gonna see is with every single breath, her tattoos start to shimmer, and then they start to grow out of her skin into real plants, and even the ones on her neck grow onto her face.
As you
That was
leave,
fun.
you see him kind of like, he's smiling, but he's also shaking his head.
We
We get that a lot.
Put, a hand gently on a big hand on the small of the back. Not small of the back, sorry, between the shoulder blades. Sorry, not like that. No, between the shoulder blades. The top of the back.
Roll to seduce the goblin.
Just over the tramps now.
The dragon snorts a little bit and then says, "This conservationist, I have heard it all, and now I see that my nest has been disturbed. What a morning!" And he turns around and begins sort of like trying to tidy up bits of the nest. So, you want to advance my species, is it? How strange.
Yeah.
Murder,
Yeah.
murder. You're kind of.
Great.
I think we should set sail again. We've sat idle long enough, Billy. I think we should sail that way, towards those particularly majestic-looking seals. I'll get the clubs.
If you come to the bathroom and come in, you'll just hear a shout going, "No Armani, no Punani."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Missed that perception check, huh? Life can be so short. Do you want to kiss me?
No, that's a fucking critical hit.
Wrong credit! And we're back. We're back. We're still in the Feywild, and we're following, or not following, some mushrooms. Who wants to take point in the keeping an eye out for mushrooms?
I'm happy to.
I'm gonna, because I'm gonna say that I think Eloise is probably just so busy like taking notes. She's not being very, even though she's got an enhanced wisdom.
Yep. All right. In that case, Muck, would you like to make me a survival check.
Oh, wasn't expecting that. Was going to go for perception, but that's absolutely fine. Whoa, 19.
There we go. That's what we like to see. Yeah, there's a lot of mushrooms, but you managed to find... It's not quite a trail, but it's like a gap in the foliage that is clearly... Like, you're not sure if other people have passed through it or not, but it's not as overgrown as some of the rest of it. And you do begin to spot just like purple mushrooms off to the side away from where you're walking. And there are some yellow mushrooms on the other side, which you see and then keep going straight instead. And eventually you reach a patch of green mushrooms. After... It's difficult to tell time, but you've been walking for maybe like 45 minutes following these mushrooms.
I want to use my ring of jumping and jump really high.
You walk into the mushroom patch and Muck just jumps straight up from standing and comes flying back down. And as you do, instead of landing on the ground, you just hear a crack. The wooden floorboards under the mushrooms give out, and all four of you collapse down into a little tunnel.
Oh,
Eloise shrieks.
oh, little warning.
Oh, so
Well,
that's what they meant by jump.
I thought it was going to be a metaphor, but
Well, shit.
Really? Have to be so clumsy. Look, oh,
I'm not clumsy. That was a really good jump.
Oh,
It's not
that
my
was a
fault
great
the
jump.
floor wasn't strong enough.
I'm gonna cast light on my amulet to illuminate the tunnel we're in.
You can see, looking around behind you, there is written in Sylvan, so Eloise can translate for you, dead end. But the tunnel seems to extend further in the direction that you were heading when you first entered the mushroom patch.
now before we enter this tunnel, I realised when Eloise spoke to these owls that we were told about an entry fee for something, but what is the something? What are we entering?
You're the one who's
Hopefully a jump in
studied the
context.
planes, all of this, Eloise.
yes.
Any
Well,
idea?
I'm assuming that wherever the music is coming from is a gathering of important Fey queens and princes, perhaps, and she, like, starts flicking through some books. The long and short of it is that I don't know exactly. 100%.
Okay, so I guess we're just gonna have to keep our wits about us. I have heard stories about promises and deals and stuff, a bit like devils, but with fairies.
Yes, don't make
Let's
any
be
promises.
careful of that.
Well, I'm not going to promise you that.
Getting in the mindset already.
Nimbo is intimately familiar with deals made with Fae.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair.
And there's something about names as well.
Yeah, don't tell anyone your name, and don't drink anything. In fact, don't eat anything either.
My name is Engelbert. How's that?
Well, do we want to have like pseudonyms in case we need them?
Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Is that safe?
I think so.
I mean, safer than our real names, I guess. But I mean, also, names are kind of made up, aren't they? You know, you get given a name or you take a name, but like, you're not born with a name.
Have you been eating those mushrooms?
I mean, I was raised to always know what mushrooms you're eating. So I think until we get a bit more information on these ones, I mean, every mushroom is edible, some only once.
Do any of the mushrooms react to that?
Hear a
Nope.
giggle from a person glowing fungus on the tunnel wall.
No, all of these mushrooms are quiet.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go by Jade.
I'll be Sparky.
I'll be Casimir.
Casimir the
think of
monster fucker.
You can just refer to me as the linguist.
So we've got the monster
Ugh.
fucker, the linguist, Sparky, and Jade.
Yes.
This is the
Incredible.
weird children's cartoon.
So science fact about
Yes.
mushrooms being edible or not.
Mhm.
So fungi have this incredible range of like different chemicals they produce, some of which might be like penicillin, or some of which might be mind altering like psilocybin, some of which might be incredibly toxic to humans. And like there's a massive field of research in looking at these what are called secondary metabolites of fungi. So basically chemicals that are made that aren't the baseline let's keep things going and keep us alive chemicals, but that do lots of interesting other stuff. So stopping other microorganisms competing, stopping them being eaten, other things like that.
You get a nerd dice.
Yay!
Okay. And are you gonna follow the tunnel? With you guys,
Carefully.
I'm never sure. You could also start like digging your own path or something.
I cast
You-
meld into stone and I just Homer Simpson into the tunnel wall.
And I flash back to how you'd considered doing that and leaving Blirta's vessel completely unprotected last night.
Yeah.
You set off down the tunnel. Nimbo, your lighted amulets providing you with a very clear view of the rest of the tunnel. And you're walking amidst all of the tree roots, all of their mycorrhizal fungi that allow them to communicate between one another. And you start to hear, Nimbo especially, and Eloise being more tuned into language, these soft, like bubbling conversations that the fungi are having with one another, talking about soil conditions and nutrients and like how much sunlight there's been recently and which season it is, which seems to vary by the hour. But eventually you spot up ahead the back of a small creature that looks a little bit like a mixture of a raccoon and a cat. And as you turn a corner, you can see that they are just the last person in a long queue.
Is the cross between a raccoon and a cat a cocoon?
That's so
Yes,
beautiful.
it is now.
Is it Metapod?
It's Metapod but with cat ears.
It's a metapod called Dickstring, actually, who evolved from a caterpie named Dickstring.
That's
who is
like
on my
Darkmore
wall.
making like a long inside joke back 2 years.
Deep
It was
lore.
mostly for Sam's benefit.
So is this like, did I ask, like a tanuki style creature?
It looks a little bit like a tanuki, yeah.
Um,
Except it's not like its whiskers seem to extend way further, like they're almost drooping down to the ground. And it's got thumbs and it's currently twiddling them.
An interesting kind of science fact on 2 levels for the tanuki is that most people will have seen a tanuki in some form because it shows up in Super Mario all the time. That is like the the Japanese raccoon. But also in the UK, it's one of the most likely animals to escape and be living somewhere in the wild, because they're fairly legal to have as pets, and people don't look after them very well, and they regularly get out and are never seen again. Yeah.
Intelligent pets with little hands.
Exactly, the worst kind. And M is walking around with one all the time.
And they're not actually that closely related to raccoons, are they?
No,
I don't think they are, because they're raccoon dogs.
They're raccoon dogs, so I think they're a completely different family.
Tom Nook from Animal Crossing and Timmy and Tommy are also Tanukis, which makes sense that their names are Tom Nook.
So what we can say is that this creature in front of us has heavy pockets full of gold from all its landlord work. So
bells, right?
Or bells.
Bells,
yeah.
yes, yeah. All right.
I think Eloise stops up short, and in Sylvan will just sort of say, "Oh, hello."
I'm no longer last in the queue. Is that a good thing?
Can I see
Hello.
a queue?
Yes, this Tanuki-like creature is... There's, like, you can see, like, 6 or 7 other beings of various kinds. There's, like, large mushrooms with arms. There's another one of these giant owls. There's a small family of moles, but they're all, like, bright purple with spots. And they all seem to be waiting for something.
I turn to the others and just sort of say, "We're in a queue. This is fascinating," and start scribbling.
What are we in the queue for?
Yeah, what are we queuing for?
Oh, the bridge.
Oh, you speak common. Amazing. Sorry, I didn't want to presume.
Oh, a lot of people don't.
Okay.
The bridge. The bridge where?
To the other side.
Wait, we died? Have we all died?
The other side of where? What, like, of what?
Gorge. Are you dead? Am I talking to dead people? Oh, goodness! Oh, no! Oh, no!
I mean, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm having a panic attack.
None. I cast calm emotions. So I put my hands on their shoulders and like, okay, I hope it's okay that I'm touching you. Look in my eyes. Let's breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. None of us are dead, to the best of my knowledge. We're all pretty good at avoiding that most of the time.
Fascinating.
This bridge, this gorge.
Yes.
Where does the bridge? What's on the other side of the bridge? And what's at the bottom of the gorge? What's going on? Sorry, we're new in town.
The bottom of the gorge is the impassable river. Hence the bridge.
Of course.
The other side is, well, my home, but also just everything else that's on the other side. Are you looking for something in particular?
I mean, yes and no. We're looking for a leather bag with a bit
They've
of
got those
jewelry
on
in
the
it.
other side.
A specific leather bag with a specific bit of jewelry in it.
I can't help with that.
We're
I don't wear jewelry.
Investigating a crime.
Oh.
We're not cops.
Oh, well, then you want to go talk to the knight.
Are they on the other side as well?
No, they guard the bridge.
Cool. Okay.
What are you going to tell her? Get across. The knight.
Oh, you have to tell us something? Is there a password?
You...
Like I said, we're new in town. Please humor us. Treat us like idiots. Most of us are.
So it depends on how she's feeling.
Okay.
Is it like a joke or
sometimes?
Or a secret? Or
Sometimes.
a confession?
Sometimes.
Or a threat?
Not usually.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Hey! Did someone find out at the front what we have to tell her today? You just hear like all of these critters start to ask like the one up ahead if they know what's being told, and eventually it comes back to you. Right. So today she's decided anyone who wants to cross has to first tell her an absolute truth.
Absolute.
That's,
Yeah. I
let's
think
see
that's
it.
why we're so backed up. We usually move faster than this.
Oh, maybe it's one of those like reverse riddle things. Like only a Sith deals in absolutes, but it's an absolute. Like maybe the only absolute truth is that there are no absolute truths.
Oh, that's a smart one. Can I use that?
No.
I'm up ahead in the queue. I don't care.
Oh my god, what's that? No, don't do that.
You can't try.
No, I think Nimbo is a respecter of cues.
Oh, are we actually waiting in line? We're not going to cut the queue. We're like the main
I-
characters.
Just glanced at Muck, like horrified.
Mark, I'm quite happy to cut the queue if you want to cut the queue.
Yeah, let's go.
But
This
if
place
you-
has like no rules anyway, right?
Well, I think it does have rules.
I think it's famous for having them.
Yeah.
That's no reason to take this chaos, and that's how things. Oh.
What if
lose
we
all
ask
propriety.
nicely?
Yeah, someone else should do that. That's not my forte.
Oh, you do surprise me.
Watch it.
I'm really sorry. We are on a mission of some urgency. Would it be okay, because we've got a bit of an idea as to what we might say, and other people might be thinking about what they might want to say, would it be okay if we just temporarily, perhaps, maybe, were to...
Only
You know,
if I can say that there are no absolute truths.
Only if you do it after we do.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay, I'm going to use my nerd dice. Ooh. That is going to be 11. 11!
No, I get to use it, but you don't. You give it to me.
No.
Okay.
The whole point of
I'm
us
still
wanting
ahead
to
of
go
you in the
first-
queue.
Nimbo, shall I punch it?
Do you say that loud enough for the Tanuki to hear?
No.
Make a stealth. Make a charisma-based stealth check.
That's a really bad combination for me.
I
Because
do
I'm
know
whispering
that.
it, can I not
Huh?
have the disadvantage from my armor?
No, because because it's charisma based, you wouldn't have the dex disadvantage from your armor, so it
Okay.
would be a flat roll.
Flat roll.
But it would have your
That's
charisma modifier instead.
Great. 12.
12!
12!
That's better than
You're
11.
really got to lean into these middling rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tanuki is just whispering to itself. There's no absolute truth. There's no such thing as an absolute truth. There's no such thing as an absolute truth. There is no such thing as an absolute truth. And doesn't seem to hear you.
Yes.
I don't think we should do that, and I'm gonna send a message to Nimbo and just be like, what if we say that one of us has like a really contagious disease and we need to just get through quickly, part the ways? Like,
I do.
yeah, but that's not one that's gonna cause problems. Like, I couldn't see the moon. But what if we said that?
I mean, if I turn into a half bear, half furball guy in this tunnel, that might make some people get out of our way, but
Yeah,
it might
but-
not make us super popular.
Instead, you could say like, Nimbo has a really bad case of syphilis, and we need to get through.
I mean, do we have to go with syphilis?
But it will make people, like, it will part the sea of people.
I mean, I think there's a lot of stigma around sexual health, and you know, you can't catch syphilis just from being in a queue with someone. You've got to share a toilet seat.
Can I say that Eloise
That
is
is
just
not
looking
true,
at...
folks.
Yeah, so yeah, that is not true.
Sorry, Sakaya, please.
Em and Nimbo are just sort of like staring at each other, and over time, Nimbo is getting more and more like... And I just glance at Mark, and I'm like, are they okay?
Also, I think the whisper, how many charges do you have left at this point, Sam? Because it's for every back and forth is one.
Oh, it'll be
like
gone.
you
it'll-
speak Nimbo.
it'll be
Yeah.
gone.
Okay. So you've
It's a
left it
cantrip,
at that
right? You
point.
can
That's what I'm sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, they do this all the time. All the time. See, it's just more of this magic stuff. And I'm just here with swinging my swords around, waiting for my turn to do something. Every time.
Right. I'll lean into the Tanuki. So as there are no such things as absolute truths, I suppose this queue doesn't really exist.
Make a persuasion check. Oops, your charisma
16.
caster is gone. 16?
Mhm.
You're really clever.
Yes.
You're really clever. Guys, the queue's not real. And you hear this also sort of get transferred down, and then suddenly it starts moving forward much faster.
I guess it's a free-for-all.
Nice one, Eloise. You turn around and Nimbo has used disguise self to disguise himself as a version of Nimbo covered in boils and blueberries and stuff.
Eloise shrieks.
What? Oh, sorry. And I get rid of it. Let's go.
Following the Tanuki and the rest of the queue, eventually you turn one last corner and you see that a bunch of creatures have all sort of thrown themselves at this like dingy-looking rope bridge across a gorge with a very fast-moving river underneath. And you see they're standing looking really confused. A massive centaur with a great axe strapped to her back who's going, What do you mean my queue's not real?
In a world as transient and changing as this one, is there such thing as any absolute truth? Maybe the only absolute truth is that there are no absolute truths.
What's your name?
Sparky.
Sparky. It's the smartest thing anyone said all day.
I have my moments.
Is that syphilis?
Oh, sorry, I thought I got rid of the last of it.
Well, you got to be careful around those sylphs.
It's just stage makeup. I haven't been I'm new here.
You should still air spirits. Not even once, mate.
You know what? I really appreciate. That's the smartest thing anyone has said to me all day.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Well, I guess you can pass.
Do I get a +3?
I mean, I think I have to come up with a new question now, so that's going to take me a while. I'm going to take an early lunch.
All right. Well, you enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So what was your name?
Hurry though, because I'm going to close the bridge so I can actually go and have lunch.
Yeah. Cool. Scurry. Lovely to meet you. Have
You
a lovely
too.
lunch, and
Thanks,
I'm sure it'll
Sparky.
be
That's mine now.
absolutely delicious.
At least I got your name.
Cool. So
You
we scurry
cross the bridge.
across.
Yeah, you scurry across, and it starts to roll itself up behind the last one of you. But it seems to still like be floating in the air. It doesn't like sink or anything.
Eloise shrieked.
Well, for once, that actually seemed to go fairly smoothly. That's unheard of.
And glad we had a decoy name. Because, yeah, apparently she has now. She had. Okay, so maybe I've got to pick a new one. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to say again.
Good call on the absolute truths answer, Eloise.
Good call on the fake names.
And the fake Q.
And the fake syphilis.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Write that down, linguist. Let's stay away from dalliances with air spirits, apparently.
Well, that's just good advice.
I mean, there are all sorts of ways to be beautiful. So, we've got across the bridge. We're on the other side.
Talking of dalliances with elemental spirits, and this friend of yours, Blirta Mandragore, in what way are they your friends? You know how dangerous their whole association is.
Quick question to Dagmar.
Yes.
How much do we know about Blirta's patron and
You
her
would
relationship
know
with it?
that Brum is an Afriti, a fire djinn. M would know that Blirta broke into a storeroom that was not meant to be accessed by students, found this opal, got caught, put it back, and next morning woke up and opal had replaced her eye, which seems to have been outside of her control. You know that Brum wants Blirta to break a planar seal because Blirta told you that. And you know he's a dick.
So, I mean, Blirta can be a bit of a dick sometimes, but then so can all of us, I guess. And her patron can be a bit of a dick, but then so can all of us, I guess. And fire powers aren't necessarily anything to be sus. One of my greatest friends in the entire world is, aligned with fire.
No, that's just not it at all. It's like, academics spend a lot of time and study trying to get to where they are without the need to take a shortcut by making associations with dubious entities that have their own agendas. And quite frankly, this one, for all intents and purposes, seems to be quite dangerous.
Are you talking about Blirta or are you talking about her patron?
Her patron, of course.
Because I guess both. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've spent a long time building my relationship with the gods, but there is an element of it that is inherent.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, we all have our different relationships with unknowable, powerful beings. I mean, we're very knowable, but we're still pretty powerful.
Side eyes Max muscles again.
Yeah, I would agree that I've always found it a bit odd about why Blirta was trying to fast track. Like, I put so much work into learning different skills of magic and getting better at it, and
Exactly, right? It's just not on. And the difference with the way that we have a relationship with our gods is that they don't. And in her head, she's like, impose their own agenda on us to and kind of like realizes maybe. Well, anyway, it's different.
Sure, it's always different. But I do get your point about about the patron and us not really knowing their intentions. There's been a lot of talk of, well, on the subject of us being in another plane, there's been a lot of talk about the barrier between the planes, and you must know that that's been getting damaged and cracks appearing in it recently, right?
It's my area of expertise.
Sorry, I didn't mean to Claire explain it. But you know, okay, so you must know then that where we met was in the vicinity of one of the major planar seals that separate the planes and keep the gods from intruding in person on our lives, right?
Right. How do you know this?
Well, it's been a weird couple of weeks. We started early on our Crown Guard community service, and then we got sucked into chasing an apocalypse cult, and then I met one of my deities, and then I fell out with one of my deities because we accidentally made a deal with some hags, and then and like Nimbo goes on a kind of like a quite rambling tangential filling you in on the past 37 episodes of Science and Sorcery. And basically, to cut a long story short, we're not really sure whether the planar seals are good or bad yet. We know that the Fisher, this cult, are bad. We don't know whether the Sovereign is up to no good. We don't know whether people's parents are up to no good. We're pretty sure that we're not comfortable being Crest Guard anymore. But we're still trying to work out what the hell's going on in our relationship with it. But we know that we're learning every step of the way. And we know that we need to stop the Fisher doing what they want to do.
I think Eloise has been watching Nimbo speak with just this frozen porcelain kind of expression on her face. And through her mind, all that she's thinking is that I've spent 9 years trying to substantiate I've just wandered out into the wilds for 2 weeks and stumbled upon all of this stuff, and it's all just like, cascading through her mind. But
and it's
on
all
top of
coming
it
in the
all,
form
it's
of a
just-
neurodivergent info dump.
yeah, absolutely. and there's little things like, made a deal with hags, which just kind of like go straight in and out, and it's like, wait, I'm sure that's like really dangerous anyway. But then on top of it all, Eloise is kind of thinking, but wait, these have maybe got empirical evidence that I can. So she just, all of that's going on in her head, but she's actually just staring at you, kind of like dumbfounded and silent.
So there's this titan of greed, and like one of my gods, Varea, got split off from her sister, who's chaos and everyone hates, but actually she's cool, maybe, but like not part of a whole. Anyway, am I making any sense?
Well, kind of, yes. So I mean, this is fascinating. And it's just so interesting that this has all happened in this region here, because the earthquakes that I've been looking into the earthquakes that have been going back all the way back to 1042, and I have this strange idea that and she'll bend down and like pick up a stick and give it to Muck. Break this stick for me.
It's a twig.
Now, did you see how it strained and stretched, and then suddenly it broke, and then we could hear it, and there was a release of pressure? Well, that, I think, is what happens to the very earth that we stand on. But it only happens in certain areas, and some of these earthquakes don't seem to follow the right patterns. And I think other things could be involved, like what you're talking about, like sundering of gods and opening of portals.
Well, if there's anything that's going to stretch and pull and put pressure on the material of the earth, it's going to be a
Your
slumbering
friend's
titan.
patron.
I mean, I don't know if they can reach out from the plane of fire, but there definitely is a titan of greed under the Lost Isle, and someone's trying to wake it up. So maybe it's stirring in its sleep, and that's what's pushing and pulling the twig of the earth?
This is fascinating. And she kind of like looks at each of you with a slightly less derisive look on her face now. And you three have found all this out.
Well, and Blirta.
And Yarrow, kind of.
Yeah,
Instrumental to the operation.
Incredible.
yeah, you could say that.
It's
Who else
like
is
I said,
gonna
it's
tell
been a
you you
weird
smell
couple
like
of weeks.
Muck's piss rags.
You have to say things like that in front of new friends.
Oh, sorry,
Oh, she's a
Eloise,
friend
do you
now.
want
That's
one?
nice.
Oh, really? No, thank you.
Mike takes deep breath into.
Oh, God.
Eloise goes like slightly green, and then I'm gonna go and pay our entrance fees. Rushes.
And as you say that, I assume you've been walking this whole time, and music has been gradually getting louder. Some nice piano ballads. As you get closer, you enter a clearing filled with creatures. And sat at a piano is a satyr playing a jaunty tune. A hat sat on the table with a sign next to it that says, "Place your entry fees here. Speed dating will begin soon." And that's where we're going to pick up next section, I think.
Oh my god, what's going on Love Island? I'm so excited.
Yeah, can we do this whole next session just like kind of vox pop?
Yeah.
Eloise is just going off to have a quiet panic attack.
Oh,
What a ride.
Welcome to the
I loved
Feywild,
it. Out
folks.
of character, I loved it.
Also, I absolutely love that that emotional journey of like, oh, Eloise starts to have like the beginnings of a dawning of respect for these people who you never know what other people have experienced, and then
Watch
Muff's
it.
huffing on a piss rag. Does that?
Never forget where you came from.
that's the first time you huffed on a rag, though. Like,
You haven't just used it to cover the scent of something worse.
I think it also came like about 30 seconds after saying like, "Don't be rude in front of new friends."
I think it's starting to get a picture of Mark.
-1 charisma, that's all I'm saying.
and
Sweaty but a great dancer.
thank you, Sakaya, for going to play.
Yes, thank you. Loving
you
your
for having me.
character. Do you guys want to pick your MVP? Who's getting the moment of awesome to use next session?
I'd say Eloise convincing everyone that the queue isn't real.
Yes.
That was a real game changer.
I would
Yeah.
agree. That was
Literally changed the game.
I just stole your line.
No, you took it to the next level.
You rolled well on that
I love
charisma
it.
check. All right.
Oh,
In that
thank
case,
you.
Sakaya, for your first session with us, you're getting the moment of awesome, which you can use next session for advantage on a check or to do something ludicrous, which otherwise wouldn't be possible. Just say if and when you want to use it, and we'll figure out if it's possible. The answer is probably yes. And we'll be speed dating in the Feywild with, is that Mr. Peanut Butter again? We're gonna find out soon. But for
What could
now,
go wrong?
have a great evening, folks. We'll see you next time. Good night.